Hello again. I'm in the Subaru, the Impreza WRX, which I'm turning from a road car into a stage rally car. And one of the first things I've decided to do is fit the roll cage. So I've stripped the interior. That was in the other videos, and I've been fitting the cage. The front cage blocks are tacked in, so they're not moving. They're where they're going to end up. I've got the roof bar in. I've got the main hoop is exactly where it needs to be, and it has got the foot plates on, but they're not tacked yet. I have had the rear stay in, and I've drilled the holes for the fixings, so when it finally goes in, that's where it's going to go. So what I need to do now, before I move anything, well, nothing's going to move because it's solid, is tack the plates, the reinforcement plates. I need to tack them onto the shell, and then take the cage out, take all the cage out. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a gap between the bottom of the plate and the shell, so I'll have to make up some steel plates to fill that gap. And there's a bit of an overhang at the front. It's a bit hard to see there, so I'm going to make up some bits to go to, you can't see, but yeah, so it's fully welded all the way around. And these plates are a bit bigger than they needed to be, so they could have actually been cut down flush with the front. But I think the cage is possibly designed to go back slightly, but I need to get it as far forward as possible. Right, whilst now it's coming out, this is the last time it will come out. Next time it goes in will be fully fitted, and it shouldn't need to come out again. So what I'm going to do is take the cage, dismantle it, and take it out of the car, put it in the garage, get the heater on it, and finish off the primer, because a lot of it is damaged and scraped and from where it's been dragged about. And then once that's all set and finished off, I'll give it a coat of satin black, or I think it's just gloss black I've got. And then when that's nice and hard, I can refit it all, hopefully not doing any damage to it, but it's bound to get a bit of damage. It's quite heavy, and especially the main hoop, getting that in and out is a bit of a pain. So I want to get it all out, because it's got to come out anyway, and then I can fully weld the front foot plate and the rear hoop plate, and then yeah, I'll get a coat of primer on this, and I can start welding this up while the primer's going off. Well, I'm in the garage now. I've just got some more primer to touch up the cage where it's had a few scratches. I've just given it a quick sand down and all the other bits and pieces. So I'm going to touch up the bits where it's got the primer's missing, and then I'll leave the heater on. And whilst that's drying, I'll go and sort out the welding on the plates. Hopefully it'll stop raining. That's the cage out of the car, and I've put that in the garage, given it a sand down, and touched up all the primer. So I'll leave that overnight to go to for the paint to go hard, and then I can give it a coat of black. I was going to weld these in, but we're getting a bit dark now. It's 4 o'clock, and yeah, it's just gonna, by the time I've got everything set up, it's still raining, so I don't want the welder outside. I might as well clear all the crap out of here, make some space. So it's a bit of a pain having these fuel pipes in the way. Yeah, they're the brake pipes, I think, and these are the fuel pipes. But I've just got to be very careful. I've welded these on just to hold the plates exactly where I needed it. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 tack welds holding it there, but I thought if it does move for whatever reason, I've got to put it all back in again to get it in the right place. Did the same that side, and I did it like that, so it'll be easy to get it off, hopefully. Right, let's give it a bit of a sort out. It needs to get the hoover in here as well. It is hanging. I could do with some red paint as well, just to paint these bits before the cage goes on, So the cage will be black, and this will be like the floor of the car. So I might look into getting an aerosol can or something just so I can touch it up. Right, I'm getting through the black satin paint. It's looking lovely. It's just had one coat, so I will give it another coat. I can see, oh no, it's really, yeah, I've just turned this the other way up because it was upside down before, so I can get all the underside. So the idea was paint this, and then whilst this is drying, go and weld the foot plates in fully for the car. It's starting to get a bit dark now. So I've done that one. It's fully welded in. I had to put a piece on the front, and it's a bit dark now, you can't see, and then weld a bit down the side. And across the back as well, there was a gap, so I had to weld, cut some of the 3mm steel and shape it. You can see at the front of that where the gap is. That was the same there, so I've had to put a piece in. That one's 3/4 welded. It's just it started raining and started getting dark. So fingers crossed, these will be welded in tomorrow, and the cage will be painted and dry. All going well. I've just been painting the sliding joints, slip tubes, and touching up any parts that I can see it's a bit thin or needs a bit more paint on it. So I think that's ready to go in, and I know it's gonna get scratched. These are gonna get scratched. I have to slide them right down these bars, put them in place, and slide them back again, so that's gonna scratch. I need to give those a coat of paint. Right, I'll show you what's been done in the car. Well, I've done some paint over where the plates are. Now that the plates are all welded and finished off. I've also painted where primed and painted the holes I drilled for the harnesses, just to stop any rust coming through. And I'm looking forward to getting the cage in, so I can get the dash back on. But the cage is still wet. The floor plates are wet. I'm going to give it some time to dry out, and it started raining again. So once I get the cage in, I can start building up the dash and go round the cage, and it's just looking a mess at the moment. I've picked up a seat from the old rally car, so I can work out where the seat rails need to go, and I can start sorting something out there. There's the original seat fixing, and there's one on the side there. So I'll use those, and I'll make some sort of frame that goes in there that the seat can sit on. Good morning, another day, early start. What I thought I'd do is, before I put the cage in, there's a couple of bits that will be a lot easier now than with the cage in. One of them is the seat. So I've just got it on blocks of wood at the moment. It's a bit high, so I'm just trying to get a comfortable position where I can sit in it and try it out and see where it feels. And I'm just marking where these are going to go. So I've got an idea basically of where these rails are. So I'm gonna have to cut this. It's a metre length, so if I cut it down at 500, that gives me plenty of length with a bit of extra. And if I bend this bit forward and drill a hole where I've put the circle, that will fix onto this part, and I'll just drill a hole in the back that will fix onto that part there. And if I do the same the other side, as long as the width in between the two is the same width as what I need for the seat, then I can put the uprights on, but not fix anything, not weld anything, just leave them resting. So I'll be able to, it'll be strong enough so I can sit in it, check it's right, and then it's not going to be right, so I'll have to adjust it until I'm comfortable where the position is. Then I can start tack welding it. Right, I found some old seat rails that I'd taken off another car, and I put them on just to get a bit of a reference to where it needs to go. And I've come up with this one. And this one's a bit hot, I've just been welding it. So this one bolts to the original seat fixings as well. They're parallel, they're both the same angle. I've been using my angle finder for that. So now, when this cools down, I've got to make 4 of these bits, but longer than those, and bolt them to the seat, and then slide it up and down here, because they'll fit in here, so I can mark it exactly where I want it. Right, I'll make the steel bits a bit longer as well, so I will have a bit of adjustment on them. Right, that's the rails bolted on where they're going to go. I've cut these up. These are 75 by 190, and they're 3mm thick. Everything's got to be 3mm thick, and this is aluminium, and that's got to be 5mm thick. So now the good thing is you can slide it backwards and forwards. So I've sat in it, found out that's where I want to be, which is great because I'll be able to get my hands on to get to the harness size. It seems high up, but when you're in it, it feels low. So now I've just got to put some tacks on them, or I might do it with the mold grips if I've got enough, and then I can take it inside and weld it up. Right, then I've got the navigator's one to do, which is basically, now I know where I'm going, it shouldn't take as long. I'll just put the harness eyes in, so that's 4 for the side harnesses, and there's 2 for the bit that comes up through the seats, and the other 2 will go onto the roll cage. Right, so I've painted the base for the seat, and I'm letting that dry, so I'm going to put the cage in now, trying not to scratch it. It's in, it's done, it's taken a while. I've been on it all day, but I've got the harnesses on, I've got the seat in, I don't know how much you can see. Cage is all in and bolted up, and it's looking good. Getting in and out, it's so much easier than I thought it would be. Just getting my foot past this bit, that bit there. But it's doable. So I fired it up before, make sure it all still started. That's everything, it's bolted in nice and tight. I've got all the, oh, you can't see anything, but the back stays are in, everything, that's the cage finished. So I've got the navigator seat, which wouldn't take too long. I ran out of welding wire, which was a bit of a nightmare, so I had about 100mm of welding to do. So I had to go and get some more wire. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there because this video is going to get too long, and it's a lot of video about just putting the cage in. Anyway, next passenger seat, and then tank guard, isolator and extinguishers. So see you next time. Thanks for watching.